All right, guys, what is up? Welcome to Framework Fortune. I'm your host, Ben. This is episode 3 of Portfolio Power Up. Now, this channel and the show is for educational. What is up? Whoop. Welcome to Framework Fortune. I'm your host, Ben. My phone picked it up. Episode 3 of Portfolio Power Up. Now, this channel and the show. All right. This is what happens with live shows. You have issues sometimes. So, like I was saying, this channel and this show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. If you're going to invest in a stock, be sure to speak to a licensed professional before you do so. We are not licensed professionals, and we're not liable for any losses caused while investing. Now let's get into the show. So we got a couple people in here. We'll go ahead and start with some stuff and get some people in until some more people get in here. But we're going to start out looking at the SPY. You can see we've been on this nice bounce so far. And I'm actually going to pull up. I just saw an article that I wanted to talk about. This is funny. It's because it's kind of funny to me. But it's about the GDP and their predictions. Just give me a second to find it here on my phone. Here we go. Yeah. So it says scenarios for economic impact of the coronavirus crisis. And this is from the GDP. I don't know. I just saw the article. I don't know how long it's been out, but we'll see. So looking at this, they say they have 9 options. Okay, so there's 9 scenarios that they're playing out. All right, so the first one, virus contained but sector damage, lower long-term trend growth. The next one is virus contained, slow recovery, virus contained, strong growth rebound. Virus recurrence, slow long-term growth, virus recurrence, slow long-term growth, muted world recovery, virus recurrence, return to trend growth, strong world rebound, pandemic escalation, prolonged downturn with economic recovery, pandemic escalation, slow progress towards economic recovery, pandemic escalation delayed but full economic recovery. So, what I find funny about that is they've basically laid out every scenario there is. So, I mean, it's not really information to put out. It could be anything. So what I'm getting from the GDP is they have no ideas what's going to happen with the economy and the stock market and all that. So thought it was a funny article that they would even put that out there. I mean, all of them said that it's going to eventually lead to a recovery for the economy. It just might be a longer period of time. But I mean, of course, even if the dollar goes to zero and everything and it's chaos for a while in the country, eventually the country will settle out and there will be some way for the country to recover. So that's not really saying anything by saying, it could be nine of these scenarios, basically every scenario you can think of, but eventually we'll recover. It's not that serious. I think they're just talking a little extra. But, I just thought it was a funny article. So anyway, SPY's been on a nice rebound. It's pretty crazy. Don't know why it would be rebounding other than the fact that the feds are pumping money into everything. They're buying bonds and stocks and bank loans for mortgages. They're buying up everything. It's kind of crazy. But that's what they're doing, and there's not really anything we can do about it. So, don't know how long this uptrend is going to continue. I did see an article today that AMC is going out of business. Some of you guys are in the Facebook group. Then you saw that article. Well, AMC's not technically, I guess, going out of business yet. But AMC, and this is the movie theater company, AMC, but they're talking to bankruptcy lawyers. So, is probably not a good thing. I can't imagine talking to bankruptcy lawyers would ever really lead to anything good. So I imagine they probably are going to be filing bankruptcy soon. That could knock out, AMC as a competitor. Now, of course, some other company could come in and buy up AMC if the stock gets too low. And let's go ahead and pull up AMC. Let's pull up AMC and see what it looks like. So I was at 271. Was up at like $8 before the crash, for the real market crash started here. So I'd say, yeah, see, actually, here's the press release. It's even a press release on Thinkorswim here. AMC talks to hire bankruptcy law firm. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. But yeah, theater shut down since mid-March due to coronavirus. So I imagine as soon as the market is open and people are able to start dumping AMC stocks, I imagine that's what's going to happen. I can't see a scenario where tomorrow everybody saw this article, they wake up and say, hey, let's all go buy AMC right now. No, I don't see that happening. I see AMC probably dropping down pretty low. Now, the lowest it's been is $1.95. It's not that far from it. I would say we might see AMC down to $1 tomorrow. That's a lot for it to lose. $1.70 in one day would be a lot to lose. But if there's fear of bankruptcy, you're not going to want to hold this company, especially in an unstable market, right? Like we have right now. Like, I would be very shocked to see this stock go up at all tomorrow. I think it's going to crash pretty hard. That being said, the bankruptcy is not official yet unless something comes out between this episode and tomorrow. But nothing's official yet, so there's a possibility AMC could get oversold at this time, and maybe we can get a dead cat bounce on it. Something I'm kind of eyeing for tomorrow or maybe Tuesday. Yeah, I mean, that's true. It could be a move by them. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing official yet about the bankruptcy. So if they get too oversold and nothing's come out, then I could see a nice little dead cat bounce on this stock maybe Tuesday. So I guess it depends on how fast it drops and how hard. If it drops to $1 in pre-market tomorrow, you might could find a dead bounce, maybe lunchtime or something like that. But it's hard to say, exactly when it could possibly have that bounce. But I'd say in the next 2-3 days, we'll see a very massive sell-off on AMC and then some type of little rebound. I think it's one to definitely keep on watch. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put it on my watch list here. But yeah, AMC's definitely going to take a hit tomorrow. I just don't see it in any world where they don't take a hit tomorrow. If nothing changes between them. If they come out of the press release and say, blah, 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 it was nothing, then it probably won't drop. But so, yeah, if you guys got any stocks or anything you guys want me to look at during the stream, just, put them in the chat there. If you want to know about some strategies or you have any questions about anything, just go ahead and ask them right there in the live stream chat. I should be pretty synced with you guys, so I should be able to answer you pretty quick. But yeah, I'm pretty much winging it tonight. Normally we try to have a guest on, but because of circumstances, it's a little bit harder. You'd think it'd be a little bit easier, but it's not right now. It's a little bit harder. It is Easter. Happy Easter, by the way, to everybody if you celebrate Easter. But yeah, it was a little tricky for me to try to get a guest today, so I didn't have anything prepared for just being by myself. So we're just going to wing it. So like I said, anything you guys want to talk about, any questions, any stocks, just throw them in the chat and we'll get to them. And the show, we'll go the show for about an hour. So we've already been 11 minutes, so probably about 49 more minutes. But until we start getting some suggestions, questions, or ideas in the chat, I'm going to talk about a few other stocks that I'm kind of watching. Now, XBIO, this is a biotech stock. Zenetic Biosciences. They just come out with earnings. Looked like they were down on all their earnings. I didn't really look at any growth. They've not had any volume recently, but this stock a year ago was up at $20. Stock has also made some nice moves in the past. So like from right here, 721 up to 1079 in one day. That's a big rip. Then in 2 days it went from 6 something all the way up to 12, and this day it went from 8 something to 1670, and then there's another one. It's just had some big rips in the past, but it's not had a big rip in a really long time. Just looking at this daily chart up here, just a long time. It's just been going sideways, and it did have a little dip with the markets, but it got down to 44 cents. Now it's up to 75 cents. They've not had anything about the coronavirus either. They've not had any press releases or anything. So I'm just curious, with everything being a little bit sketchy right now in the markets, and they are probably losing money, maybe they might come out with a coronavirus press release for test kits or something, or a vaccine, just something to drum up some volume into the stock. And I mean, it's a garbage penny stock, so it could very easily become a pump and dump very quickly. But it's just one I'm keeping on watch just to see if any weird volume starts coming in, and then maybe keep a closer eye for a press release. Because if it does get a ton of volume, it can move pretty hard. It's a very low float stock. But like I said, it is a garbage stock. I'm just talking about for a day trade on that. That's nothing. I don't think I'll try to swing that or anything. There's no really reason to swing it. I just like the fact that it's ripped before in the past, and it's a biotech stock that hasn't had a coronavirus press release yet. We've seen a lot of these penny stocks come out with these coronavirus press releases for, everything, the vaccines and all that, and they've been ripping. So this one I ran across, very low float. Thought, I'm putting on my watch list. You never know. So this stock here is actually one I found last night. My wife were talking about things that you can move your money to in case the economy does crash that bad to where $1 is not worth anything because of too much inflation. So we were talking, and she was like, why don't you check in the solar energy, see if there's a way we can invest into solar energy. So I found a solar energy stock that's actually out of the U.S., which I think is, kind of a good thing. But it's Canadian solar, but they do have a lot of business in the U.S. as well as Canada. So I don't know if it makes a difference really, because I think if the U.S. economy crashes, the whole world's economy crashes probably, or most likely would. So I guess that really doesn't matter. But anyway, it's a solar energy company. And one thing I noticed, it took a drop, pretty decent drop because of the coronavirus thing, but this company is actually a really cool company. If you look them up on their website, just type in Canadian Solar on Google and you'll get their website, and just go look at all the stuff they got going on. They've been awarded so many different actual awards for their research and everything they're doing, and they make about $3.2 billion a year in revenue. They do have a lot of debt. They got like $1.8 billion in debt, but they're making more revenue than they have in debt, so that's at least a good thing. They can cover that debt payment, whatever it is, a year, or I guess it'd be a month, but still, when you add it all up. But let's see. So yeah. And they've got like $700 million in cash on their balance sheet as well. So they do have about a third of their debt in cash. So that's a pretty decent thing. It's it's definitely one I would check out, especially if you're into like energies or oil stocks or anything like that. It's a company I would check out if I was wanting to invest in that type of thing. Another interesting thing is about it. So if you draw a line right here, you can see some major support and resistance for this whole year. You can see that support back here came right here. This support broke, went down. This was resistance, broke through, and it just cracked through that support again, and it's actually about to break above resistance one more time. So I think it's I don't know how much more the actual economy will affect it. I mean, it looked like it did here, but a lot of different stocks started crashing. But if it does break above that resistance, there could be some opportunities there for a day trade or swing trade. But if you like the company, go and check them out, and it could be a good long-term investment. Maybe later you might be able to get it cheap when the economy's down. Because we're probably gonna have a pullback soon on the SPY. SPY's been going up, so I'd say that's gonna happen soon. I don't see how it could keep going up, but you never know. But if this does, if you could get it for cheaper for long term, $12 back here was a great price to get it at. I think it's about 50% off of a pretty strong solar stock, and that's the 1 year. So let's look at a 10-year. See what they've been doing on a 10-year. Whoops. So they've had some ups and downs, but for the most part, it looks like the last 3 years they've kind of been on a slight uptrend. Yeah, so you got a little bit of a slight uptrend there. And actually, before the coronavirus, they probably wouldn't have dropped this hard if the coronavirus wouldn't have happened. So, yeah, nice little uptrend on it. So I think there's potential in this stock for a day trade, a swing trade, and even long term. But like I said, make sure you're doing your own research. But it's one to check out, I think. I thought it was an interesting stock. And then PEGI is another one. This is actually a wind energy company, so they have windmills that power things, and they actually pay a pretty nice dividend. And you can see here on the 10-year here, they've been on a pretty strong uptrend since 2018. So must be working whatever they're doing. Let's look back at the 1 year though. The thing is, they just got acquired by another Canadian company. Here it is. They just got acquired, and it just went through. You can see it. You can see there's no chart for it, and there's nothing here. That's because they were acquired. So I don't know if they're still public or not. I just found it last night, and I've not figured that part out yet. So, but they were acquired by, where's it at? Canada Pension Plan Investment Board. So let's see if we can find that real quick. Because if it's private, then there's no need to even talk about it. So, like I said, guys, if there's any stocks you want me to look at or anything you want me to talk about, any strategies you want me to go over, just throw them in the chat because I'm winging it. So, okay. So Pattern Energy must be private. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So no need to even talk about this stock. Let's take that off there. Now I do have another watch list here. And this is, this is gold stocks. I have a watch list of gold stocks. This is Newmont. They're kind of a bigger company for gold mining. Looks like they pay a dividend. But what I found interesting was, this is the daily chart, 1 year. Make sure I'm still in that. Yep. And gold's been on an uptrend for a year. So that's pretty interesting. And then you can see here, well, I said gold, but this company is just one stock. But later, when we go through some of these other ones on this list, they all have this similar pattern. So you can see here, I'll click through them all just so you guys know I'm not crazy. But you can see all of them, some type of uptrend, and they're all different gold mining companies. Okay, that one doesn't have an uptrend. So, but the main ones, these big ones do. But yeah. But gold seems to be, at least this gold mining stock anyway. It just went from Thursday. It just went from about, let's see, where's that price? About $51 up to $58. So that's like an $8 move in a day on this gold stock, and it has a lot bigger float. You know, there's like 800 million shares, so the float's probably like, you know, same area, 800 or something like that. But yeah, this is it's above all indicators. You know, gold is very bullish right now, and Thursday was actually the first day that's broke out over these levels. You can see it hit right there. Let's see. I think I was looking back. I've been doing a lot of research, guys. So if I'm like lagging and stuff, I'm just thinking of everything because of how much research I've been doing. So 71. Yeah, so this set a high of 71 back in 2012. See, how long did that last from? Yeah, gold was on an uptrend after looks like after the recession. So now it's been on a lot steeper of a trend. And we're getting up to some higher areas and breaking through some resistance areas. So I'm curious to what this does tomorrow. I want to see if this stock continues to climb tomorrow or if it has a pullback and maybe it has to bounce around for a few days in this 52 to 57 area. But the SPY is crashing, but gold, you know, it's going up. It did drop down. It dropped really hard right here. I'm not exactly sure why. That's March 6th. The coronavirus started about right in this area. So gold's that's like the coronavirus really didn't affect it. I'm not sure what that was. Let's see if there's a press release on that. March 9th. Oh, okay, they slimmed down their board, so they fired some people. So I guess I don't know. It took a big drop there. I don't know if slimming down your company is a great thing or not, but it usually doesn't drop it that much. From 51 down to 32, that's pretty low. That was on March 17th. Actually, March 16th, it was that low. I don't know, but like I said, I just want to keep it on watch. It got a lot of volume Thursday. You know, it got a lot of volume first thing in the morning, and it climbed all day, and then it got a lot of volume at close and climbed even more. So there could be some possible day trades or swing trades in there in these gold stocks. A lot of people invest in gold when they think the economy's crashing. They look for something else to put their money in because you don't want your dollars to be worthless. So if you take your dollars and you put them into gold or gold stocks, then your money will probably actually go up. You'll actually have more value in your money if the dollar's worth nothing. So they're definitely ones I just want to keep on watch. This is another one. DRD. You see they got a similar pattern. This DRD Gold Limited. Looks like they pay a little dividend. They just started kind of paying dividends. Yeah, I got Newmont in there. KGC. I don't think I have KGC. I don't have gold. And then what's the other one there? KNTNF. I didn't run across KGC or these. I didn't run across these three that you listed on there. Yeah, same type of pattern. Same pattern there. This guy's only $5. Wonder what the float on this is. Let's see. $1 billion in float. So very big float. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Gold. Gold has the same pattern. Yeah, so these are, you can see this is where, same pattern here as well. So this is where people are putting their money at. They're putting them in gold companies or gold. You can buy just straight up gold. But I don't really want to buy straight up gold myself because the two ways you have to buy it, you either have to buy it physically, and I don't feel like having gold at my house just sitting somewhere. And the other way is you can buy it online through a gold brokerage, and they keep your gold there for you. That you basically get a certificate saying that you own some gold in their establishment. But that makes me a little bit nervous because, you know, if everything goes real crazy, they could just be like, "Nah, we're keeping your gold." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's probably fine, but I just don't trust that. So yeah, you can see the volume bars right here. Just in March. March has got a lot of volume there. Yeah, same thing on every one of these. That's why they all have the same patterns. Just a lot more volume this month than they've had in past months. So that is interesting. Let's see, and this one's two. This one isn't getting that much volume. It's getting some. It's following those other ones. But the ones with volume are the ones I want to pay attention to. Let's see, let me go through this list real quick and delete any ones that are not following that pattern. These first three were. That one is. That one's not. That one's kind of. That one's kind of too. That one's not. That one's definitely not. A lot of those have the same. Huh. Actually, I might keep Goro on there. I kind of like that one. There we go. So yeah, now I got a list of gold. So I can keep up with the gold. Golden potatoes. I mean, in an apocalypse, man, if you got some potatoes, you're doing good. You gotta have some type of value, and if you've got a potato field, you know, just full of potatoes, and you can keep potatoes growing, you could barter those potatoes for, like, you know, whatever you need. Maybe somebody who's got some butter or some eggs or something. So if you want to put your money in potatoes, you know, it could be more valuable than $1 at some point. So let's see what else we got. We went through the energy, went through the gold. That's why I also said I wanted to wait till tomorrow to see what the gold kind of does at the beginning of the week here, because I really don't have a theory quite yet on what could be happening. I mean, I know they're switching their money over, but there's so much uncertainty in the market. I just want to wait and see what happens tomorrow on those. So we got AMC up there. Now I got a couple of lists of REITs. This is a bigger list, but you know, we saw REITs kind of rebound. A lot of these REITs kind of have the same pattern. A lot of them crashed when the market started crashing, but they all kind of started coming back up now. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm saying. If there's another pullback in the market, then it could be an opportunity to get these for a lot cheaper. But you just want, with REITs, you just want to make sure that they have cash and they're not going to, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with REITs because if it's a commercial REIT right now that's in some type of retail that's not grocery stores, like if it's, like malls, if that's what the REITs own, all the malls are closed, so those REITs could possibly go bankrupt if those businesses can't pay their rents. Because a lot of these REITs are in debt because they buy so many properties all the time. So those ones I'd be worried about. That's why I said in that video, you got to go and actually look at the website and see what they're invested in. And back to AMC, like we were talking about earlier, AMC, if they go out of business, and actually in the article I read, it said they've skipped out on some rents from some of their landlords. So there already probably is some REITs that aren't getting paid as things are going on. So that's what you want to check on. But if you got a REIT maybe that's in the medical field, that has a bunch of hospitals or something like that, those REITs are probably doing okay for now. So that's what you got to look at. You got to look at what they're actually invested in. And I've just got a lot of them on here I've been looking at. I still haven't went through both of these lists. Some of them are similar. I just think one list has more than the other. But, if we come back for like a quick rebound, if we come with a quick rebound in the stock market and everything, that we're done with the virus, it's not pandemonium anymore. Everything's back to normal. If we get that and get that fast rebound, REITs could be a good investment. But like I said, that's, it's all ifs. Even the GDP doesn't know. They've got 9 scenarios. 9 scenarios. That covers everything. Yeah, MFA's been getting a lot of attention lately. And it just dropped down to 2. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to wake up and trade tomorrow and see what's going to happen. Because the SPY is right here at this kind of resistance area. You can see kind of where it bounced at right here. At 283. That 280 held up. Actually, 282 just about held up right there on Thursday as resistance. So are we going to break through this resistance, like right through here, and go above it? Or are we hitting that and going down? Because if we're going down, then I don't want to do any buying of any long-term stocks or anything. I want to wait till we kind of get to a lower support area to do that. This is an uptrend, but this is a very, very sketchy uptrend because at any time, the market could reverse. And a lot of this has been pumped by the Fed, so. But yeah, tomorrow's gonna tell us something. It's gonna tell us that everything's gonna keep recovering, or it's gonna tell us that everything's dropping. So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting day for sure. So we got about 25 minutes left. There's one more thing I want to personally look at, and I'm going to have to try to find some of them, but look, the SPY's competition. You mean the inverse ETF of the SPY? See, that's velocity though. Velocity, TVIX and VIX. Let's see, is it VIX or? See, I don't think VIX is an actual inverse ETF. Let me look here. I had a list of them. I think they're on my other account. So I'm just going to have to Google this real quick. And if you guys know the inverse of the SPY, just put it in. I can't remember right off the top of my head. S&P 500, that'll work. A short ETF, what short ETF is that? Get out of here. Ads, come on. Okay, so this is SPD, and this is the S&P 500. So it's gonna, let's see how much of this inverse is. That's interesting. For some reason, it showed me tops. Let's see. It's 1 year. Yeah. So that looks about right. It's moving averages are weird on there. Yeah. So that's right. So that's the inverse. SPDN is the inverse of the S&P 500. So that works. It's the inverse of the SPY basically. But yeah, this one could be, you could have a point there, Daniel B. That you could be a buying opportunity maybe. If we don't see that resistance break on the SPY tomorrow, that 280 area, then we could start to see the SPY come down and then this ETF come up, this inverse ETF. Because you can see they damn near perfectly follow. You got a triangle here, and then you got the reverse of that triangle, straight up, straight down. Like it follows it perfect. They're like mirror reflections of each other. I'm actually gonna throw it on my watch list. See, there's a lot I want to look at tomorrow. That's what I was saying. I've done a lot of research this weekend, so I'm looking at gold stocks. Whoops. I'm looking at gold stocks. I want to keep an eye on the SPY, see what it's going to do. Keeping an eye on the solar stocks. I want to see what that's going to do. AMC. Yeah, good point. I got you, Daniel B. No worries. No worries. You had a good idea there. So yeah, but it's $25. It's all the way for $33. So yeah, there could be some potential there on that one. But yeah, I'm looking at watching a lot tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting day. So okay, the last thing I want to look at, and like I said, if you guys got any things you want to ask, any questions, suggestions, or ideas, just put them in the chat. Let's see here. So, oh yeah, U.S. pot stocks. I have a theory. If you're in the Facebook group, you might have saw my theory on U.S. pot stocks. So let's get this back in order so it's not looking all crazy. There we go. That's good enough. So, U.S. pot stocks. This is Kron. This is a Kronos Group. This is a U.S. pot stock, but here in this recent, since basically January, they've been getting some consistent volume, and they've actually kind of rebound too with this little market rebound. But I'm just curious. There's not many things that the feds and the government can do right now to help the debt, because these stimulus packages they're trying to help everybody with, those are going to the national debt. The debt is going to grow. And so the only thing I could think of that would make sense for them to do after, the actual coronavirus scare is out of the way and we're trying to figure out recovery, I think they could legalize marijuana on a federal level and put like a 10-year tax on it, like a higher tax than it would normally be, but just for the first 10 years on sales tax. Don't tax and regulate the hell out of the small businesses that would start. Just make a higher sales tax on it, because it would be a luxury item at that point. It'd be recreational. And have that tax strictly go to paying off the stimulus that we are accruing right now, the stimulus package debts, because we've got one already passed. I'm sure there's going to be more on the way. So you could use that to pay off some of that debt and keep it from being too crazy. So that's would be my solution for what they're doing right now. You know, a way to counter that debt. Because if you got more money going out than you have coming in, then you're not going to work. It's not going to work. You can't be spending a ton of money and you don't have any money coming in. You're going to run out of money. You can hear my dog's going crazy right now. I don't know why, but you legalize marijuana on the federal level for recreational. Now you have a whole nother source of income you didn't have before, a whole untapped potential of income in tax revenues. That could take care of these stimulus debts. So if that happens, I'm sure, just like when Canada legalized, or the 2 years followed before Canada legalized, there was a lot of hype going into those stocks. So I could see the U.S. pot stocks getting a big boost like the Canadian ones did, if that's the case. Now I have no idea if that's what they're going to do. It's just what I would do. I'd be like, let's just legalize it. It's already legal in like 27, 28 states, maybe more now. I don't even know, like 30-something states. So why not just make it federally legal to pay that debt? It just makes sense. So I'm keeping an eye on these U.S. pot stocks. Like I said, this is one of them. Cresco Labs is another one. I don't think I have it on here. Let me see. The ticker symbol's weird. Maybe I can type it in. But I just want to watch them. I just want to watch them and see. Oh, there it was. And see if they start getting some unusual volume. See, Cresco Labs has actually got a lot of volume since December. Start of December, Cresco Labs has been getting a lot. Now, of course, Illinois legalized back in January, I think it was. Daniel, don't you live in Illinois? When did they legalize it in Illinois? Well, Cresco Labs is a company that owns some dispensaries in Illinois. They own them all across the country, but they own them some in Illinois. So if that theory is correct and they actually legalize it on a federal level, then I could see these stocks really going crazy. So I want to actually find some more of them. I'm going to make a new watch list for these. Oh, by the end of this, I'm going to have such a big big amount of different watch lists because I have so many already. Some of them are my scanners, though, so I don't count those as watch list. Let's see, U.S. pot stocks. That's a good name. So, Cresco, LBF. Let's see, Planet 13 is another one. And then Cron. Yeah, I don't want Canadian pot stocks. I didn't ask you if you smoked it, Daniel. I just asked you when it was legalized. I'm sure you had the news on at some point. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't want any Canadian companies because the U.S. legalizing won't really help the Canadian companies that much. You know, they might get an uptick in some sales because some of the U.S. companies might have to buy from them to sell right away because you can't just open the first day of legalization with weed that you've grown because it was legal. It was illegal for you to grow it at that point. So they got to buy it from somewhere. So maybe they could get. Oh, you want to look at the patterns of Canadian stocks? The Canadian stocks make me a little nervous. They're on downtrends. Let's look at these on 10 years so we can see, what's really going on. So yeah, this is Aurora. You can see it was on a nice uptrend for some years, couple of years, and then it's just been on this nasty downtrend. It does look like it's starting to even out a little bit. Maybe it looks like at 50, 60 cents was pretty low for this. A lot of people bought it up right there, and it didn't crash any lower. So Aurora may be all right with yeah, I don't know. They may be all right. Let's see. That's Aurora. So we got downtrend, Canopy Growth. Same thing, downtrend. Still in that downtrend. Afra. Same thing, downtrend. They're all in these downtrends. It looks like they've started rebounding. A lot of them started rebounding here in March, though. Let's keep an eye on that date of March. Afra's one I like, Afra, because Afra's the only ones who have mentioned paying a dividend. Afra said they are looking in to paying a dividend once their company's a little more stable. So that would be cool to have a cannabis stock with dividend. So let's see what else we got. Cron, I thought, is Cron Canada? Is it Canadian? I thought Cron was a U.S. stock. And this is downtrend too. Are you sure it's a Canadian stock? I could be wrong. It might be a Canadian stock. I thought it was a U.S. company though. If somebody look that up real quick, because we're getting a little lower on time, so I'm gonna go through these. Just somebody verify what it was. Hexo, Hexo's been on a nasty downtrend. It's still on a downtrend. Prices unit offering, they just did that. Let's see. Let me read this thing on. Let's see. 52 million units to try to raise $28 million. Each unit is comprised of one common share and one common share purchase warrant. And they left the option in there for underwriters to purchase additional units. Yeah, they just trying to raise some money. Basically, they're desperate. They're trying to raise money. So that's one I probably wouldn't touch. Look for sugar stocks. I know you're probably joking, Daniel B. I'm not going to take that serious. But it could be serious. Sugar stocks could, maybe go up. Depends on how bad we need sugar. So CanTrust has been down pretty low, but I don't know nothing about CanTrust. That's one I've never heard. I've never done any research on. NX TTF. Oh, this is Namaste. I know Namaste's got a pretty nice following of investors, because I did one of my stock reviews on Namaste, and I said that I wasn't sure if I would invest in this company or not. If you go look for that video, you just look for it in the Ben stock reviews if you want to watch it. But I got a little bit of hate on that video for saying that I didn't think it was a good investment at the moment. So they have some loyal followers for sure. Yeah, I probably wouldn't touch this till it got back over 50 cents. 50 cents seems to be a pretty strong area of support and resistance on Namaste. Yeah, you can see it. These candles came close to it. This candle hit, and then it broke out. And it came down and bounced right there off 50 cents. It had a little bounce again. And then it finally cracked. And then it hit right there. So that 50 cent area is a really tough area. I wouldn't want to touch this until it broke over 50 cents. If it ever got back over 50 cents, then, it maybe could go to $1 or something. But yeah, that's some strong resistance at 50 cents. Has some very strong resistance, so. And then the other one, Supreme Pharmaceuticals. I don't like Supreme. I wouldn't invest in that. But yeah, they're all on downtrends. All the Canadian stocks are on downtrends, so they're not of an interest to me. It's the U.S. stocks that I want to see. So I'm gonna do some research and find some more. I know for sure Planet 13 and Cresco Labs are both American companies. So ICD Oil Drilling, maybe with Epic Deal. All right, Daniel B. So I don't know nothing about ICD. Whoa, man. ICD went on a massive run Thursday. I don't remember seeing ICD. Let me put ICD over here. See how many. Very low float. So you're saying. Yeah, it was a big money maker. I mean, Thursday I didn't trade for very long because I just was nervous. I made one stupid trade in the morning. But with it being a holiday weekend, I didn't think anything was going to rip, so I never even looked. Yeah, that's a beast. So let's see, what is the contract? Contract drilling, reduces salary, suspends all cash-based incentives, cuts number of executive minutes. So they're trying to stay in business. What was the Dom took his message back. What was the press release? He said there was some type of deal. They have an oil deal with somebody. Yeah, that's a lot of volume, man. This had no volume and it just ripped. That is a nice move. Or was you talking about, did they have a specific deal? OPEC meeting? What is OPEC? See, I don't know. I don't have a lot of knowledge about oil and oil stocks. I'm a little bit, I don't know. I've just never really had an interest in those. So is OPEC, is that a stock or is that a oil thing? Is that like an oil government department or something? You'll have to let me know what that is, because I don't know what OPEC means. Global Oil Organization. Okay. Oh, so, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about the thing with the Russians and Saudi Arabia. I saw something, they had done something. They'd come to a deal, some type of deal, I thought. Is that what y'all are talking about? Okay. Yeah, okay. So I know what you're talking about. I just didn't know that's whatever that's called. The global oil thing. Like, I don't pay that much attention to oil, so. I did see the thing about the meeting. It said something about a great deal or something. So yeah, oil. All right, well, let's make another watch list. Let's create an oil watch list. There's so many different things going on right now. It's crazy. It's like so hard to tell what's going to do what. I mean, I started looking at oil a little bit lately because a lot of the oil stocks have been dropping a lot. See, I'm blanking. There we go. There we go. Oil. Let's put ICD on here. Yeah, that float is so low. When did they? Yeah, I know what the NHL is, Daniel. Thanks. Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate that. I know sports acronyms. I know the NFL and the MLB and the NBA and stuff. I'm not that crazy. I just don't pay attention to oil. Like some people like oil. I'm not a big fan of oil as far as investing in it. And, for good reason, I think. For a while there, yeah. Oil's been on a downtrend for a while. For a very, very long while. Is that the 1 year? Let's see. Let's go to the 10 year. Here we go. Yeah, so how long has oil actually been on a downtrend? Oil's been on a downtrend since before 2015. Well, this stock has. I don't know if all oil stocks have, but this particular one. I should probably look at an oil ETF. Watch the Dallas series. Whoops. That's the wrong button. Here we go. So what are we looking at? SRG. Yeah. Is the SRG an oil company, I'm assuming? Growth Properties. Heritage Growth Properties. This is a REIT. This is a REIT. Switched it up on me. Went from oil to REIT. I'm pretty sure this is a REIT. Yeah, this has got to be a REIT. They've got 400 leases and 185 unique tenants. Yeah, I know what a REIT is. Oh, thanks. You guys are great. That was a good one. You got me there. Mark, you got me good on that one because I literally just put out a video about REITs that says Real Estate Investment Trust on there, and then you played off of the joke of yeah, I got you. That was a good one. Bet you're sitting there laughing like an evil genius right now because you got me on that one. So for me to look at SRG, because I can see on the chart, I mean, like I said, most REITs dropped off like this. I would have to see what their actual portfolio is. That's what I was saying earlier. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I can see their numbers. Let's see. Flex, retail, leasing activity, auto-related medical office. But I want to know what companies they're invested, or what companies are renting from them, or companies are housing, whatever their properties are that they have. I want to see what their actual portfolio is. So I'm gonna add it to my REITs, and then I'm gonna have to run, guys. We're gonna have to call it a day. SRG. Is SRG in there? Okay, SRG, and I might already had that in there. And then what was the other two you want me to look at? I'll look at real quick before I gotta go. Oh, okay, I guess. So it's just SRG, NRZ. Let me take a look at NRZ. Is this another REIT or where are we going here? Investment, new residential. So residential. If it's residential, I would probably wait a little bit to try to get this one. I would say it's going to come back down because if the economy crashes, then real estate's going to go down too. So, or even if it doesn't crash, I'm saying crash lightly, but if the stock market comes back down to the lows where it was at before, then we could start seeing the housing market get affected. Although the government is buying up all the mortgage loans. So, they're trying to prop up the housing market too. I don't know. It'd be something to watch for tomorrow. I might add it to my REIT watch list as well, just so I can check it out. But yeah, it's something to look at. REITs are definitely something to keep an eye on. I definitely say keep them on watch. But like I said, tomorrow's going to determine a lot. We want to see what happens with the SPY. We want to see what happens with the REITs. We want to see what happens with gold. We'll even see what happens with oil. There's a lot that is going to transpire this week, I think, whether or not we keep rebounding or if we start coming back down. NRZ will go up tomorrow. You're very, very confident about that. I mean, it is on a nice uptrend the last week. It dropped down, but it's on the same uptrend as all the other REITs. They all started doing that. Yeah, if they've got Sears, I would be a little nervous about that REIT. You bought it $3, sold on Thursday. You did good then. I was looking at doing that. TOW was the one that I was looking at. I had it on my watch list last weekend. And I was like, that Sunday night, I was like, I want to throw this. I want to wake up Monday and I had a limit order in for TWO and I didn't get filled. I had it for like 278 or something like that. Yeah, it was right here. This was the night I put it in at like 278 because the ask was 270 and the bid was $3 and I didn't get filled. And I was thinking the same thing you were with NRZ. I was thinking about swinging this all week and I could have done good on it, but I didn't get filled. I was really sad about that one because I had researched all weekend about REITs and what I wanted to do with those, and they might keep going up, but they go up with the SPY. If the SPY starts crashing tomorrow or starts dropping back down, they're going to start going back down. So that's what I'm saying. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. So, all right, guys, we'll call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate the support. On your way out, make sure you hit that like button so the YouTube algorithm will give this a little bit of attention and we can keep growing everything. We'll be back next Sunday with another episode of Portfolio Power Up. But tomorrow, if you're not in the live stream chats for the live day trading, be in the live stream chats with us. We usually have a pretty good turnout, and we try to make some money. So, you guys, happy Easter. Have a great night. And I will see everybody tomorrow who's going to be there. Until next time.